Hello, I am Hüseyin Baran Özdemir, and this is SE380 course, homework 3 and task 1. I created a Flutter project and uh, clear, cl- clear, cleared the build function. My homepage widget initially comes as a stateful widget. I didn't change it because I need a stateful widget to get the values that are written and changed in the form. And I created a text editing controller variable of type text editing controller. And this variable allows us to get the change or written value when the uh, text form fields changes, as you can see. And I created is checked variable of type boolean, and it will change to true or false when the checkbox is selected or not, as you can see. And I also created a uh, text form field as a widget, as you can see. I have given text editing controller as a controller to this widget. Then I added the checkbox widget, and I have as this changes, the is checked variable also changed with state, and uh, also I added drop down button, and I have set the type of this widget to boolean. In this way, it will not return a value other than boolean type. And finally, I added the elevated button. This button is currently useless. And lastly, I added, I created is yes or no Boolean type variable. This works when I change the drop down button. It set the state. It set ECR or yes or no variable true or false with set state. As you can see, this works perfectly. Task 2. For form validation, we need to define a global key in form widget. For this, I created a global key variable named form key and gave it to the form widget as a key parameter. And then with the validator parameter of the text form field widget, I checked whether the text entered into the form input is empty or null and not less than the 3 letters, as you can see. Then when the elevated button is clicked or pressed, I checked whether the form is valid or null or not. And if the form is valid, I changed the text variable by adding the values of other form elements via state. As you can see, text editing controller dot text and is checked and is yes or no. And by adding the reason I created this text variable is because I want it to be displayed on the screen after the button is clicked. At each click, it defines the values of the elements in the form to the text variable. And let's test the app. For example, test Sorry. For example, I have not right in the text form field and click send. As you can see, I have an error message and I added two letters, and when I click, as you can see, I have an error, enter at least three letters. And if this form valid and I clicked the send button, as you can see, the values of the shown with text widget. When I clicked checkbox and then send, as you can see, change the value. Okay, that's it.